sorry. I tried to rule Earth. They'd be lucky to have you. I'm a trickster. Yes, so mischievous. Build a statue for me.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Villains May Cry. We're here to examine villains in movies and shows and reveal why they're so terribly misunderstood and treated so unfairly. I'm your host, Kameline, and we have back our special guest, Chris, to further talk about Loki. Welcome back, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Kameline?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So in last week's episode, we spoke about Loki, who is one of the most famous and possibly most misunderstood antagonists in the Marvel Universe.
Loki was found by Odin and taken to Asgard, where he and his wife, Frigga, raised him as an Asgardian prince along with their son, Thor.
In part 1, we spoke about his character and his origins before looking at his motives so we can further understand him better.
Now we are here to connect his origins and his actions to see if they were justified or not. As you know by now, Loki was abandoned as a child. His life was pretty tough and his childhood was less than ideal.
Odin's son, my heir, my firstborn.
In the real world, most people would have psychological trauma if they were abandoned by their real parents. Now, put yourself in this situation.
All this because Loki desires a throne.
It is my birthright.
Your birthright was today! As a child, cast out onto a frozen rock. If I had not taken you in, you would not be here now to hate me.
You get taken in by a family who has their own child, and you grow up watching him get the life you wanted and you think you deserve.
I never wanted the throne! I only ever wanted to be your equal.
Seeing the perfect child be better and stronger than you may make many children develop an inferiority complex and want to prove to others that they are as good, if not better, than their siblings. In Loki's case, since Thor was more powerful physically, he had to find other ways to prove his strength.
To prove to father that I am a worthy son. When he wakes, I will have saved his life. I will have destroyed that race of monsters, and I will be true heir to the throne.
Imagine having your brother be the powerful god of thunder, while you're known as the god of mischief, the one that pulls the tricks. Loki ultimately wanted to prove he was worthy, not only to himself, or to his brother, but to his father, who always had been dismissive and underestimated him compared to Thor. And to be honest, isn't that what people seek? Approval from those who think they're not capable of doing something? Love from their parents?
Here's what Tom Hiddleston said about his character Loki. I also don't think he's truly evil. He never was, even in the Norse mythology. Loki, a very important, fascinating character, the trickster. He's somebody that the gods needed at particular times. Lots of people are familiar with the Norse stories, but he's someone who represents chaos in opposition to order, and sometimes what you need is a bit of chaos. And Asgard wouldn't be the same without him. So what Tom Hiddleston is saying is that Loki is chaos, but sometimes chaos that is needed. If he wasn't there, who would be the one to contrast Thor?
Loki shows his vulnerability when his mother dies, even though she wasn't his biological mother. She was the only mother figure that he knew, so of course he was emotional about her death.
Do you enjoy killing?
I'll kill you.
What, like you did your mother?
In both movie and mythology, we can see that Loki has remorse and wants to fix his mistakes, which some villains wouldn't care about. Loki's motives ultimately are good. It's everything he does to reach his end goal that make him seem like a villain.
Even Tom Hiddleston agrees when he's asked about his character's motives, and this is what he said. At the beginning of the Avengers, he comes to Earth to subject it, and his idea is to rule the human race as their king. And like all the delusional autocrats of human history, he thinks this is a great idea because if everyone is busy worshiping him, there will be no wars, so he will create some kind of world peace by ruling them as a tyrant. But he is also kind of deluded in the fact that he thinks unlimited power will give him self-respect. So I haven't let go of the fact that he is still motivated by his terrible jealousy and kind of spiritual desolation. He did do some bad things, which is why he's known as the villain, but his personality really does make you enjoy watching him. His motives all stem back from him being a child who wanted to show his father and people that he's great and maybe even better than his brother.
In Norse mythology, Loki always tries to fix his mistakes, often an added benefit to the Aesir. To replace Sif's hair, Loki has the dwarfs make new hair out of pure gold, as well as a spear and a ring for Odin, and a hammer for Thor, and a boar and ship for Freyr.
So yes, Loki is seen as a villain in the Marvel universe, but he isn't one of those villains that you fully hate. He's one of those that you kind of root for to be good. Yes, he has done bad things, but at the end he regrets it. He ultimately just wanted to be noticed and appreciated. Can you blame him for that? Thank you for watching Villains May Cry in our 2-part series of Loki. Don't forget to question, were they truly the villain or were they just misunderstood? I'm your host, Kameline.
And I'm Chris.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.